Hello again everybody, and welcome back to York River Cannabis for this week's Soil Wars update. But if you're new here to the channel, please hit that subscribe button. And if you've already subscribed, thank you very, very much. I really do appreciate it. So this week I'm going to keep it simple. The Attack of the Clones plants that are remaining are all doing great. The Pro Mix has a really nice cola on it, and Build a Soil 3.0 remains in the lead, and I foresee that really just coasting to the finish line at this point. But this week I'm really going to focus on the winning soils for the Just Add Water campaign. I'm going to take each soil, I'm going to talk about it, and I'm going to give you an explanation of why I picked that soil. So this might be a longer video than normal for Soil Wars. And if you really want to see my take on those soils, you're going to want to watch this video all the way to the end. And if you guys haven't heard yet, Trimbag has joined Soil Wars, and you can look for those videos in the future. So let's get right into this week's Soil Wars update. Okay, so these are the last few remaining. Use BioBloom, looking good. And I gotta say, I am very impressed with Pro Mix BK25's finish. It's got the biggest cola out of all the plants. So kudos to them. Again, I go back to, it took a lot of nutrients to get there, but I may talk about how I feel at the end of Soil Wars about Pro Mix. My opinions on it have changed slightly, but overall I think they make better stuff. Here's all the harvested ones. Here's HSH Organics, looking good. Nice cola. That's Coast of Maine's potting soil. Here's Build a Soil 3.0, stacking good, getting close to finish, getting real close to finish. And here's Build a Soil Light, looking good, but no Maine cola, just three big buds at the top. And this week, we're going to go over to the Just Add Water, and we're going to talk about who won this and how I rank them, and I'm going to talk a little bit about them. So let's get right into it. Okay, so let's talk about the winner of the Just Add Water campaign, BioAll. Now, I'll give you a little history about BioAll. I've never heard of BioAll before Soil Wars, and I was greatly impressed with both the Attack of the Clones and the Just Add Water, but today we're going to focus on the Just Add Water plant. The vigorous growth that Bio 365's BioAll gave was incredible, and it maintained it pretty much the entire time before we added nutrients. Now, it definitely started to yellow, but the buds were there, the plant's growth was there, everything looked great. So I have no complaints about BioAll, and I have absolutely no second guess about giving it the #1 spot in the Just Add Water campaign. And as you can see, the plant is sitting next to me. It looks beautiful. It's gotten nutrients now. It's definitely looking a lot better than it did. But for a 7-gallon pot, for 2 straight months, it got absolutely nothing but water, and it did fantastic. For a lot of indoor growers, that may be all you really need, is 2 months and a little bit of nutrients. So with this bag of soil, you're going to get quite a bit, and it's really, really impressive. And so kudos to BioAll, really good job with their soil. Happily impressed, and I've actually put some of my mother plants in it because I know that I can get away for a couple months without having to feed them, which is great. So big shout out to Bio 365, great soil, check them out. And I really think a lot of indoor growers may like this soil if you don't really want to add a bunch of nutrients. Okay, so now that we've covered BioAll, let's talk about the second place soil, Soil King Big Roots. Very impressed with it overall throughout the year. It did a great job, great vigorous growth. Plant structurally looks fantastic, never really ran out of nutrients. And quite honestly, it was really close for a while with BioAll, but ultimately BioAll did edge it out. The good thing about Soil King, and I know it's their niche, is pesticide free, heavy metal free. It's a very clean soil. And given the concentration on that and to have this amount of growth, it's a great soil for those who are really worried about heavy metals and pesticides and GMOs and stuff like that. I was very impressed with its growth. I have no complaints whatsoever about it. Great growth, and also a great guy. Patrick King's a great guy. He really does put a lot of effort into his soil, so really big shout out to him, and congratulations on your second place finish. I really think that for indoor and outdoor growers, this is a great soil. And again, for 2 months in a 7-gallon pot, this is what we got with essentially nothing but water, and then recently we've added a little bit of nutrients to it to get the buds bigger, but structurally the plant hasn't changed since the nutrients, and I'm very, very impressed with it. So this is our second place plant. And again, guys, if you have any questions or want a little bit more feedback on these soils, just leave comments below in this video. Okay, so let's talk about the third place soil. And it was a tie. So Coast of Maine owns third place. Stonington Blend and the raised bed mix, I'm calling a tie. Now Stonington finished early, and the raised bed mix is here next to me. So I want to talk a little bit about it. The pluses of the Coast of Maine is their strong finishers. Both in Attack of the Clones and with my experimental raised bed mix, they both finish well. So the Stonington finished well and the raised bed mix, but they definitely plateau somewhere in the middle. Now, if it's anticipated, it's not a big deal, but I do want to address it. Stonington finishes really well, but it misses some vigorous growth in the middle, which is vital to the plant's structure. So I think if you anticipate it and give it some nutrients, it's not that big of a deal, and I think it can be remedied fairly easily. With that being said, I have no intention of stopping using Coast of Maine soil. I love the people that work for Coast of Maine. I love their customer service, and quite honestly, it's just easy to get here in Virginia now. I really do enjoy working with the soils, and again, my only critique is that plateau, but overall, a third place finish with 2 months of no nutrients, just what's in the pot. Again, all manufacturers recommend 15-gallon pots for the most part if you're not going to give nutrients, so I'm very impressed with the start and the finish of the Coast of Maine soils. I still recommend them if they're in your area. Give them a try. So that's it. Those are the top 3 Just Add Water plants. You've got BioWall, you've got Soil King Big Roots, and you've got Coast of Maine Raised Bed and Stonington Mix tied for third. And now I'm going to talk about the other 2 contestants. Now we're going to talk about Pro Mix, BK25 and BK55. And I think I was overly critical of the soils in the very beginning or midway through. I've kind of scaled back my criticism of the Pro Mix BK. I will say that the BK55 is just a no-go. It's a non-starter. It's not a cannabis soil, period. The plant looks horrendous. I didn't even bring it over here. It died when we gave it nutrients. So that tells you just the root development alone is just not there. The BK25, now, as an experienced grower, I think you could really play around with this BK25 mix. So I'm going to scale my criticism back on the BK25 because I'm seeing a really good finish with the Attack of the Clones plant. And now that I've added nutrients to the Just Add Water plants, I'm seeing a decent response from BK25. The only critique is that if you buy that as a soil, you are obligated to add nutrients, and a lot of them. So I really don't think in the Just Add Water campaign, it wasn't even close. It never competed. And even in Attack of the Clones, it took a while for those nutrients to really start working. Now it has Pro Mix's Micro Rise in it, which I think is causing that really good reaction with nutrients. So if you're an experienced grower and you love playing with nutrients, this could be a mix for you. It's fairly inexpensive, guys, especially here in Virginia. I think it was going for like $10 or $12 a 2 cubic foot bag. But you're going to spend the money on the nutrients to get the plant you want. So I think it really evens out with some of the more expensive bags of soil because you're really not getting anything with it. You're just getting a grow media with it. So that's my critique of it. But I will say I will scale back my criticism of the BK25, but absolutely will say do not get the BK55. I don't even think nutrients play a factor in that. I just don't think it can hold anything. It's just not a good soil for cannabis. Well, folks, that's what I have for you for this week's Soil Wars update. This is the winner's circle for the Just Add Water. Again, if you have any questions about those soils, please leave a comment below. I know I didn't get super in-depth with the soils because I don't really know a ton about soils. So if you have a question, leave it in the comments below and I will answer it to the best of my ability. If you like the video, please don't forget to give it a thumbs up. And if you're new here to the channel, please hit that subscribe button. And we'll see you next week.